What's good, y'all? It's your boy Fred Marvin, and we are back with another version of Marvelous World. And today we are going to talk about the NFL and how Mark Andrews, the tight end for Baltimore Ravens, got hawked down in the middle of a game, ready to run into the end zone.
I know y'all watched the Olympics. But did you watch it the way that we're about to break it down? The first thing that I noticed is just power. Like, power, but he's got turnover too. If you see it,
he's in the zone, he's reading his quarterback's eyes, he can play the run and play the pass at the same time.
I think that he's a guy that can go 9-7, possibly low 9-7s as well. This time that you see here, 45-19, it'll be 44-19 by the end of the season if he really can do that, right?
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about track and field mechanics today because it applies to what we're talking about on the video. And speaking from experience, I myself was able to kind of compete and really understand how to become substantially faster throughout my track career at Kentucky, learning from Olympians like Alan Johnson and Coach Floreal, who Coach Johnson is now the head coach at North Carolina A&T, and Coach Flo is now the head coach at the University of Texas. I was able to learn from some pretty knowledgeable people about how to run, how to accelerate, and how to hold your top end speed. So today we're going to talk about how Mark Andrews could have improved his form and could have maybe done a little bit differently to be able to make it to the end zone before the defenders caught him. And then we're going to compare Mark Andrews' form to one of the fastest people in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, and kind of show you what Mark could have done better and what Lamar is doing so well that makes Lamar dangerous as well. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into it. I got the video queued up right here. So as you can see, it's 2nd and 10. The play was the broken play. Mark really wasn't even supposed to go out for a pass, but he catches the ball, stiff arm, and he's off. Now, immediately after you see him stiff arm this guy, you think he's going directly to the end zone. And there are a couple things that he began to do that slowed him down. So we're going to go ahead and break it down for y'all, okay? Now, if we put this in slow-mo at about half speed, there's a couple of things that I'm going to kind of point out to you guys that you may not have noticed right off the bat. Now, like I said, it was a broken play, so there was really no way for defenders to really know that Mark was getting ready to go out for a pass. But as soon as he caught it, I think he was even surprised because he didn't realize he was going to be this wide open. Stiff arm gets him loose, and now, immediately after he stiff arms, you see his shoulders get tight. He's looking around instead of focusing his mind and his brain on the end zone. And he's already checking up, shortening his stride, looking at the guy who was coming to his left. Now, with all that said, obviously we know that Mark Andrews is not the fastest guy in the NFL. But if we're looking at where he ended up on the field, he's only on the 9-yard line, down at the 9 or the 10-yard line. So maybe 2 or 3 more strides would have got him in the end zone. So we're talking a very small margin, 2 or 3 strides, that had he done a couple of things better, we may be talking about a touchdown. So let's go back. As soon as Mark stiff arms this guy, you can kind of tell that his form changes. Stiff arm, and immediately you see his shoulders go up. He knows that he has a chance to score. A lot of times in the NFL, guys know that they have a chance to score. They get so excited. Sometimes guys like Mark Andrews, which he's a seasoned guy, he plays a lot of football, he's scored a lot of touchdowns. I don't know that he should be worried about whether or not he's going to score. I think it's more so for him that he knows he's not the fastest. He's on the 49-yard line. He's got to make it to the end zone, run away from this linebacker and also whoever else might catch him who is faster than him on the field. So naturally you're going to tense up a little bit. You're going to be a little bit more stressed because you're trying to get to somewhere faster, right? But in track and field, what we like to talk about is relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our chin, and focusing our hips down the track, or in this case, down the field. Now, the other thing that you can see is that Mark's attention isn't necessarily on getting to the end zone. It's on the people that are around him. And in track and field, a lot of times, we're not necessarily running from anybody, but we're always running to the finish line and running against people to our left and to our right. So our coaches will always tell us, focus our body posture down the track. Everything focused on getting to the finish line first, not looking at everybody around us. If we're looking at everybody around us, like if you ever seen a kid run track and field at like 5 years old, they're always trying to see how close they are to the next person. And in football, naturally, you got guys diving at your feet trying to tackle you, so I understand why Mark would be concerned about the guy next to him. It makes sense. All he needed was to give himself 2 or 3 extra strides, even to be able to meet that guy at the end zone instead of that guy meeting him at the 10-yard line. Right? So we're talking about diving in. We're talking about, potentially if they're in a more serious situation in the playoffs and he needed to score, this could be really important. So again, stiff arm. What else do we see? His shoulders go up, yes, but you also can see a little bit of heel striking towards the end. Like he's getting tired. He's trying to figure out who this guy is next to him. He's going to be getting to him faster than he thinks. You can see he's got his hands on his head. He's like he knew he could have made it. The heel striking as well, that will slow you down. Trying to grab the ground with your heels instead of the ball of your feet, the time that you spend on the ground is longer, naturally. And so it takes you longer to get that heel to toe and get off the ground as opposed to toe and get right off, right? So again, the posture of his feet, the way that his shoulders tighten up, the shoulders tightening up kind of causing everything else in his body to become tight instead of being relaxed and fluid and getting to the finish line, right? Getting to the end. Last thing that I'll say is he's got to focus on his hips moving down the track or moving down the field. He's in pretty good position as far as his running form. He's not hunched over, he's not bending too far backwards, but he starts to shorten up his stride in an effort to try to get away from the guy instead of focus his hips on traveling through the end zone. If Mark just focuses on using his power instead of trying to be fast like a Lamar Jackson and be quick, just focuses on using his power and maximizing every single stride, he'll get to the end zone faster than the guy who's got to take an angle and run further to get to him.